let's talk about it. So today I would like to talk about anxiety and depression. Oh, I know. You just know you're in for such a treat when somebody brings up anxiety and depression. Like, you just cannot wait to dive into that conversation with people because it always ends up being so great. Anxiety and depression. I know it very well. You know, every time I talk a little bit about things that I have gone through in my life journey, I become a little bit more free every single time. And I always speak to myself first, and I always think of my children and what I would want them to know about how I think about something like depression and anxiety and panic attacks, because I personally have experienced those things throughout my life. And I know so many people have on so many different levels. I can safely say that I am so comfortable speaking from a place of love for myself and for others because it has been a part of who I am. And a lot of people don't understand, having never had anxiety or depression or depressive episodes before in their life, which, you know, I feel like everybody kind of does to a certain extent. But some people really don't understand what it can do to a person's life. But I'm here to fill you in on just a few aspects of how it has affected my life personally. So, anxiety and depression. Anxiety, when I think of that, is future thinking about things that have not happened yet. It's like worry, anxiety and depression, they kind of go hand in hand. It is really just living in a place of doom and gloom is the best way I can actually put that. But for me, in my life, the things I have missed out on because of depressive episodes and or just depression is lots of milestones for friends and family. What I mean by that, I have missed weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, baby showers, any sort of other celebration or amazing thing that one could celebrate in their life. I have missed so many of those things with my friends and family because of a depressive episode or because of anxiety. And I'm talking about dear people that I absolutely love and have such great friendships with. I have missed many things because of my anxiety and depression. And it's very sad. And I can't stay in it too long feeling bad about it because I understand why, which I'll explain. But that is just one facet of a life of somebody that has anxiety and depression. And then on the other side of that is also overcommitting to things when I have been not in a depressive episode or in anxiety. So when I'm feeling extremely great, which, you know, a lot of adults can do it the same, you know, you're feeling good, the sun's out, you commit to things when you're in that mood, and then when the time rolls around, you're just like, ah, crap, I totally told you I would do that, and I don't want to now because I just cried for 5 hours. That, I know, happens to, you know, people without having anxiety and depression. But more so, it really gets us down, people that do have anxiety and depression, because we feel completely, absolutely awful, and we end up taking it out on ourselves, and then our depressive slump is even lower. That's just kind of the other thing that goes hand in hand with that missing milestones thing, is the overcommitment on the other side of that spectrum, and then feeling terrible if we don't make it. And the reason why, here is the reason why. We don't just do that because we're in a depressive mood and that's just how it is and we just miss things. The reason why, at least for me, what I have noticed, my energy is so sacred when it's high energy or good energy or decent kind of even-keeled energy. If I'm even-keeled and not even in kind of a depressive thing, but if I'm kind of even-keeled, I don't want that to be disturbed. because usually it's like this. It goes in waves, or it's a really, really, really down low, 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 low for quite a long time, and then you get a little bit of a high, then you go down low again. But when it's kind of like an even keel, and I know that I'm going to be surrounded by other people's energy that I cannot control, that usually is what determines me not to commit to those things, because I absorb energy real quickly, easily, because I'm an empath and a lover and a feeler. And that is what, most people that have anxiety and depression are huge feelers, huge lovers with huge hearts. And when we can't control all the other energy, it becomes scary. We avoid it. And that's why we avoid it, is because we can't control it. And when we're trying to protect what little energy, like even keeled energy that we have, or that little bit of positive energy, we will literally miss out on milestones of friends whom we love to protect it. And of course we feel bad about it. And that's just how it is. Yeah, when we cannot control the energy that we're gonna absorb, that we don't even know how it's gonna be, we will not even risk it most of the time. And on the other hand, we can have so much good energy and we're just like high functioning out there and just complete extrovert, and we can take all the other energy. It's just really kind of a hit or miss type thing. But for the most part, at least for me, is protecting it, which means not being around other people and events a lot, because it just absolutely zaps us dry and drains us completely. And I know that some of that is just normal feelings. Everybody feels and they avoid things, and the energy and things like that. But for me, what I've learned over my whole life is that's one part of the depression thing. It's missing out on lots of big things. I think back on it, and just even friends' weddings that I missed and could not commit to for my own soul's safety. It kind of sucks. Gotta be honest. Moving on. I want it to be okay that my children hear their own mother talking about this, because it's part of who raised them. And I know that there's some difficulty in that. I always wonder if they are also going to feel in a way that because of my anxiety and depression that they are more prone to it. I don't like to think of it that way. Just talking to a friend, she made a good point that environment trumps DNA. I actually do agree with that, because you can see people that were raised in horrifying environment, and then they turn out to do great, amazing things that don't reflect that environment at all. You wouldn't even be able to pin them down with having that kind of environment in their youth by the things that they do and the way that they are and the character that they have, actions that they do later on in life. And so I do believe that. I just want it to be okay that people talk about this, that a mother talks about this, a dad, an aunt, a brother, a sister, a friend, stranger, just anybody should feel safe and okay to talk about this. In the time that we're in, with so much freedom out there going around with free speech, with us being able to share things like this in a video, there is such freedom in it, at least for me, such freedom in me talking about it. And I always want my kids to know, and for anybody to know, everybody to know, this does not define anything about who we are or our character or our soul. One has nothing to do with the other. We're just really deep lovers and feelers, caretakers. Really, we just want everybody to be happy. We want everybody to just feel amazing about themselves. Of course, we want that for ourselves as well. It is so hard for somebody like me, and with a INFJ, Enneagram 4, empath, Cancer, for somebody like me, also anxiety and depression and having panic attacks before, I just embody wanting love to be everywhere for everybody all the time, and it really crushes me that horrifying things happen in this world. It crushes me to my absolute core. It's not always about me wanting to feel good about me and it being greedy and me. Before even taking care of my own self, I want everybody else around me to feel great about life. And I usually make sure that happens. And then of course, then I take care of myself. It's okay to have and identify with people that have anxiety and depression. It's okay to say these things out loud. Hey, it's not like you're admitting to anything that's just gonna damn you or condemn you to, or label you. It just doesn't. I can throw labels all day long and I've got a ton of them. The more we say anxiety and depression, and look, this face is a face of depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. It becomes complete freedom. There's no shame. There's no shame. There's just no shame in saying that that is a little bit of what you've struggled with. You don't have to say, hey, this is a part of me, or this is who I am, or has anything to do with my character. That's a complete different thing. But it's something that really explains so much of at least my behavior throughout my life. There's so much explaining, like, oh, I see, that's why you missed this, and this. That's why I haven't heard from you for X amount of days. That's why you didn't show up. That's why it was hard for you to hold that job. That's why. Excuses, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. Somebody that does not wish to understand anything about anxiety and depression, it is so easy to say, yep, those are all excuses for the way you behave. And that's okay. But from somebody that is speaking so free that will let people label them, these are reasons, legitimate reasons why. That's not the life that I would like to live. I would like to not miss any of these events of my friends or avoid them to protect my own energy. So I don't fall into a slump that will last 3 weeks because I went to something that was 3 hours. It is okay to say that you've had panic attacks and that you may not even have them under control and that they still take over your days. It's okay to say that. It's okay to say, I have depression, or I have recurring depressive episodes. It's okay to say that. It does not make me or you or anybody else or my children or your grandmother or the stranger from across the globe. Doesn't make the value any different at all. But it is honest and it feels good when I say these things. And it's okay to say, I have anxiety. I worry a lot, which is anxiety. To me, anxiety is future thinking. It's okay to say this stuff. It's okay to say, you know what? Mental health, really important to me, gonna be for the rest of my life, gotta put it first. It's okay to say all of these things. It's okay to say, hey, I have had many therapists in my life. I saw mine this morning. I have been to a mental health center before. It's okay to say these things. It's okay to say you wore one of those jacked up freaking matching suits and you had a toothbrush that probably took 3 cents to make. It's okay to say these things. It's okay to say these things because it means you recognize it and you want to take care of it. That's good. That means you love you. And that's amazing. Something freeing about that too. Being okay with that part, even though people may label you or say things about you, or judge you, or judge your kids, or judge your actions, judge anything. It's okay, and it needs to be okay. I hope that I'm making it okay because this is a part of me forever, and it just becomes so much easier. It becomes so much easier to look at other people and move through the world when I know these words that I would usually keep in to myself are just flowing like water from my mouth. My kids, if they ever struggle with it, I know that if not my voice out there, just from talking freely about human struggles, the wide range and variety of human struggles that we all have, not my voice that they hear talking about these things that they may struggle with someday. There are other people out there that I absolutely love that are doing the same thing and that are speaking honestly, so that when people are searching for some commonality in their own struggles and some acknowledgement that they don't really know how to deal with alone, or if they feel too alone or too ashamed, and they're out seeking that out so they don't feel so alone. You know, I really believe in my heart that helpful words will be out there, and there will be other people out there that will reach them and make them feel not so alone, not so ashamed, and not so different. And that's all I want, and that's all I hope for, and that's all that I think about when I do this. Mental health, anxiety, depression, panic attacks. We are really not alone, and I'm glad we're sharing, and I'm glad we're talking about it, and I'm glad we're not hiding it. I'm glad that we're watching things like this, or hearing other people talk, or seeing the faces of what depression looks like, hearing the stories and relating. That really does. That just keeps it going. That gives the hugs and the acknowledgement of our existence just going every time we find something that we can relate to, identify with, and just want nothing but the best for us all. I want us all to be happy. And everything that we do to cope with the struggles that we have, as long as it's not hurting anybody or ourselves, it's okay. Keep doing it, and we're good, and we'll make it. I really believe it.